Hello, welcome back to the Arcana Recovery instructional video series. In this video, we're starting where we left off in the caseload video on the client overview. Let's get started. In the last video, we left off by clicking on one of the names in the participant caseload list. This took us to this client overview we are looking at right now. Starting off on the left, we can see a program status section. The program status section shows the progress that the participant has made in the current phase they are in their recovery program. As you can see, this participant is currently in a drug court program, and they are about a third of the way through phase 1, which is represented by this progress circle that will slowly fill as they complete phase tasks. To the right of the program status section, we can see the score section, and this is the overall risk level that we were talking about in the start of the caseload video. This overall risk level is changed based off of 4 subscores. These 4 subscores are the goals, the participant's attendance, their connections, and their mood. I'll further explain these subscores as we go over the next sections that affect them. After the score section, we can see the sober count section, and this is exactly what it sounds like it is. This section updates based on the user's input within the participant app. Every day, they can go into the app and they can track their sobriety by tapping a button at the bottom of the app's home screen. This will then update the sober count, which tracks the days that they have spent sober, as well as their max streak and how many resets they have. If the user fails to input their sobriety 2 days in a row, the count will reset and the streak will start over. The next section, which we can see on the left, is the attendance section. And this is the section that updates the attendance score of the overall risk level. This score updates based off of 2 inputs, one on the user end and the other on the CRS end. After a participant completes a meeting, they must log into the app and log the meeting as completed. Once this is done, the CRS then comes to this client overview and clicks the green Add button in the attendance section. This then displays a pop-up where we can log the attendance of the participant. At the top, you can see a meeting section with a drop-down arrow. Clicking this, we can see 3 meetings. Let's say that we want to mark the attendance for the meeting that this participant had on the 31st. We would click on the meeting on July 31st. Let's say that they attended, so we will say yes. And then we'll give them a 1 out of 10 score for actual participation in the meeting. Let's say they did a pretty good job, but they could have spoke a little bit more, so we'll give them an 8. We then click Save, and the attendance will be updated. As you can see, the attendance on the 31st meeting just went from unattended to attended. The next section, which you will see on the right, is the goals and milestones section, and this section is what updates the goal subscore of the overall risk level. From this section, we can track participants' progress in their goals and milestones. We can also add new goals and milestones, as well as editing and deleting past ones. As you can see, the housing goal has a target date, however the employment one does not. So let's fix that. We can click the green pencil icon to edit it. We can then change the target date. Let's say that we want to complete this by the end of September. So we'll change that to the 30th and click Save. It's now updated with the target date. Now let's add a milestone to this goal. To add a milestone, we can click the drop-down arrow next to the name of the goal and click the Add Milestone button. We'll say that they need to complete their resume. So we'll say Update Resume. We'll choose a start date. Let's say they can start this the coming Monday. We then need them to have it completed by the next Monday. So we'll change that to the 12th. We can choose a certain time that they need to have it in by. So let's say we need this new updated resume given to us by 8 p.m. on that Monday. So we add that. You can choose whether or not you want this milestone to repeat. Let's say they need to repeatedly meet with someone. We can choose to have this repeat either daily, weekly, twice a week, monthly, or every year. Lastly, we can set a reminder time that will send them a reminder every day until this goal is completed. So let's say we want them to be reminded at 7 a.m. every morning when they wake up. Now that we've done this, we can click the green Add button. We can now see that Update the Resume is a milestone under the employment goal. As you can see, the Update Resume milestone has a score of green. This score will stay green as long as the participant is able to complete this and mark it as completed in their app before August 12th. If they fail to do so, it will turn red and it will affect both the employment goal score as well as the overall goal subscore. As they complete milestones, this progress bar will slowly fill until they have fully completed all of their milestones, where it will show fully green. The last feature we need to go over in this section is the delete feature. Let's say for some reason we need to get rid of a goal or a milestone. We can do this by clicking the green trash can. Click on the trash can and click yes. The milestone will then be deleted. The next section that we have in the client overview is the overall progress chart. Now this chart updates based off of user input in the app. It tracks their mood, their milestones completed, and their tasks completed. And you can also view all three at the same time if you would like. It also has different time frame options where we can track their progress over 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, and a year. This chart is very helpful for finding trends in a participant's behavior and being able to predict where they might fall into troughs or lulls in tracking progress or being motivated to complete their tasks. The next section that we have is the notes section, which is exactly what it sounds like. This section is for logging notes about a participant, whether it's about their behavior, how well they're doing, how their attendance at meetings is, what they contributed to a meeting, whatever it is that you would like to write down and record. To do this, we can click the green Add button. So let's say we want to record that Charles failed to attend 2 out of the 3 meetings this month, but we spoke with him and it turns out that there was something else stopping him from attending. So we can say, Charles failed to attend 2 out of 3 meetings this month. However, he had external circumstances that were preventing his attendance. Then, if we want this to be applied to a specific meeting, we can choose it. So let's say we just marked him as there for this support group meeting. Let's say this is the meeting where we talked about his attendance. We can apply it to this and click Save. It will then appear here. This brings us to the last section of the client overview, the meeting section. In this section, we can schedule new meetings for participants. We can do this by clicking the green Add button. We then select the type of meeting that it is, choose the program that they are in, put a location, then select a start date and time. Let's say it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then the end date will automatically fill out as 1 hour afterwards, so a 60-minute meeting. But let's say we want it to be an hour and a half. We can easily just change this to end at 11:30, and it'll change to a 90-minute meeting. Next, we have the reminders, and this will remind both us and the participant 1 hour before the meeting starts. However, let's say we want it to be a little bit earlier. We'll set it to be 45 minutes before the meeting starts. Lastly, if this meeting needs to repeat every week, we can set it to repeat every week by clicking this drop-down and choosing to have it repeat weekly. Once we're finished filling in all the information, we click the green Add button, and it is added to the list. So let's say that we got some of the information wrong in one of the meetings and we need to change it. We can do that by clicking this green pencil icon. Let's say, you know what, actually we wanted it to start at 11:30, not end at 11:30. We can then change this, then change the end time, and hit update. And it is now set for 11:30 a.m. So the next feature in this section is the email feature. If you click on this small envelope next to the meeting, it will open up the primary mail app on your computer and automatically draft an email to the participant's email address. You can then fill in the subject line, add a message, and let them know that there's a meeting coming up and send it to them. The final feature in this section is the delete trash can, which you click on this, click yes, and you will delete the meeting. You can do this maybe if a meeting isn't happening and you just need to get rid of it. It's as simple as that. And that brings us to the end of the client overview. Now you should be able to use this to gain deeper insights about the progress that your participants are making, as well as some of the behavioral trends that they show.